Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighter's Voice.
Hey, welcome to another episode of The Fighter's Voice. It's the co-host Shelly, Hollis, and I'm here with Wade Jones the third.
Yee.
Make sure I put that third on there, right? From moms. Man, shout out to moms, though.
Shout out to Camille.
Shout out Camille. But man, welcome to the show. What we do is we got another person from the 209 from Stockton, California, but way up. Where you originally from?
I claim here, but I was born in Nashville, Tennessee. My parents met in the military, so that's where they were stationed at.
Oh, that's dope, man. So you're a military kid?
Yeah, military baby. So then from Nashville, I probably was only there a couple months, and then to where my dad's from, which is Miami, Florida. And then after like a year and a half of being there, I was Stockton the rest of my life, mostly.
That's what's up, man. Well,
back and forth a couple times with
Stockton. Yeah. How old are you right now?
I'm 23, so I spent at least 20 years in Stockton.
Oh, that's what's up. You in your Jordan years, LeBron years.
Yeah, I hit my Jordan a couple months ago.
Yeah, 23 them Jordan years. That was special for you too, man. But welcome, man. It's my first time meeting you. It's a pleasure. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice. And for everybody who don't know, this man got a big fight coming up. Next weekend in Tijuana?
Next Saturday, yes, sir.
Man, so I mean, for people that don't know, like, what's the vibe like when you go out to Mexico?
For me, I don't know how it is for everybody else, but for me, it's cool. I had nothing but good experiences. Like, we get the promoter picks us up from the airport. I got my team with me. They speak Spanish, so like I just go with them everywhere, and they just talk for me. Okay. I'm trying to pick up on my Spanish a little bit. I'm trying to learn something, but if I don't, they got me. So I always had a good experience. Great food.
Yeah, great food. Oh hell yeah, man. That's
what I look forward to after the weigh-ins. I'm trying to eat, and they got the best food. I won't eat pasta nowhere else.
That's the best thing. Like, Stockton got good Mexican food. Then you go down there, got good Mexican food. So I already know that you smacking. And speaking of your team, man, I was sitting there. Richard sent me some information. I was going down the list, and I was like, oh, shit. I seen your team name. So explain that. Who you tell the people who you fight for? What's the name of your team?
Oh, it's Team Nasty. And so Nasty Moon, whatever. It just goes back. It's like a long history of stuff. But it's just like when you see us, you're like, oh, that was nasty. That was a nasty shot. You know, it's like an endearing thing. But it's Team Nasty.
Okay, so man, I try to do this to everybody. We'll start. And actually, you're my first. I thought about this. I skipped it on your boy the other day, and I was like, hold up. Man, because I always wonder this shit, because you can do anything else in the world, right?
Yeah.
Why boxing?
I love it. I don't know. Like, once I started, it's the only thing that I thought myself doing with the rest of my life. Like, that's all I want to do. Something with boxing. If not actually fighting, I want to do something behind the scenes or something, you know? This is my passion. So that's why boxing.
Top three fighters. Who?
Top three fighters. Andre Ward's my favorite fighter, so we'll go with him. So Andre Ward, Finito Lopez, and Tito Trinidad.
That's dope. Actually, yeah, Ward's one of my favorite. I love seeing Trinidad when I was younger. And then, of course, I went through the era of, like, Money May. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, just seeing Floyd. Man, speaking of stuff like that, like, a lot of big fights coming up right now. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you see, let's rewind.
I like Terrence Crawford, too.
You like Terrence Crawford?
I got a whole list.
Okay, see, oh, hell yeah. Terrence, my dad stays in Omaha.
Oh, okay, nice.
So he stays in Omaha, Nebraska. Like, before shit. I mean, real talk shit. Before Terrence, Omaha was like,
nothing.
Omaha.
I never heard of Omaha.
No, for what? You know what I'm saying? The only time you heard of Nebraska was like if you were a football fan, you think of like the Cornhuskers.
See, and I'm not even a sports fan. I only watch boxing. I used to play football. That was like the first. Well, I played baseball, but I don't remember nothing that. But my first sport I played was football, so I know about football. I tried basketball. I'm terrible at it. Yeah. So I know about other sports, but I only watch boxing.
You don't just boxing.
Just boxing.
That's it. So you must be enjoying it then, since COVID has hit. Like, the bubble has allowed people to ESPN is off the hook right now. Yeah. ESPN and Fox, like, you getting fights damn near every week, every other week. So since that started, man, I think the biggest thing that's happened has been the Lomachenko and Teofimo fight. So before that fight went down, what did you think was going to happen?
Man, I thought Lomachenko was going to beat the brakes off of Teofimo. That's what I thought, but I was happily mistaken. But like the day of the fight, I was like all the way through. I was like, man, Teofimo's going to get his ass whooped. And then the day of the fight, I started thinking about the stories, and I was like, man, I hope Teofimo wins. I was like, I want Teofimo to beat him. And then he ended up beating him.
Well, and that's you think about you 23 right now. Like, right now, you can
he was the same age.
That's what I'm saying. You could be strapped up right now. So it's like, you look at that, you be like, and that, to me, it was like, damn, that gave people like you and everybody else an opportunity to be like, yo, man, if you grind for it, you want it, and you manifest that shit, you can really go take what you want.
Yeah, that's facts. Because with my career so far, even though I'm still in the early stages, I'm 5-0, but everything that me and my coach talked about like years ago, it's all been happening. It's like everything's been like coming exactly how we said it would. So
So how did you get linked up with, like, you at Toscano?
Yeah.
How did that happen? Like, what is, for people that don't know, like, what was that process like for you? Because you was obviously fighting amateurs at some point somewhere, and then how did you guys get together?
All right, so I'm with Toscano, but I'm not signed to Toscano. They just have hella love for me. George, Israel, they just have hella love for me, but it's all love. It's nothing in paperwork and nothing like that. So it all started, I think right after I turned pro. I turned pro on my own. I went and fought, and super expensive. But so then I think we tried to get on one of their cards out in Stockton. Because you got to try to get on cards and stuff like that. So I was trying to get on one of the cards, and they were like, oh yeah, it's okay. And then they said, yeah, send us all your information, stuff like that. I think I was 1-0 at the time. And then I couldn't get on because they already filled it up. So then that's like the first introduction to them. And then they were asking around about me. Yeah. And then everybody around the city that they know, they were vouching for me and stuff like that. So shout out to everybody that was vouching for me. And so that's kind of where the relationship kind of started. And then his daughter started training with us. And then she like seen me in person and seen me sparring, seen me training. Okay. And then just was telling her dad, like, this dude's like the real deal. So
the best way then. Yeah. You got vouched for based on like what you was putting out there.
Yeah, I got vouched for. And then I fought again out my second pro fight out in Mexico. One of their scouting, Luis, he's seen me fight. He's seen me fight a couple times. My first time and the second time. But he was impressed the second time. Yeah. And so that was the dude that they that's their matchmaker out there. Okay. So then it was everything put together. It was everybody that was speaking highly of me, and then his daughter training with us speaking highly of me. And then when they asked Luis about me, he had good things to say about me. And then they gave me an opportunity in December for my third pro fight against a 4-0 guy. Mm-hmm. And they were like, this is going to be a tough fight for you. They expected me, because Louis said he expects me to win. Yeah. But he thought it was going to be like a real back and forth, action-packed fight where it could have been a split decision or something like that, like a real close fight. But I dominated him. I dropped him. I won every round. And that was super impressive for them. So he was super impressed. He's like, I didn't think he was going to win like that. And that fight kind of blew me up because it had a little highlight, knockdown, and all that good stuff. So. Okay. And nice exchange, stuff like that. So it was like a real exciting fight, but I dominated every round and I kind of beat the brakes off of him. So that made them want to mess with me more. So ever since then, they just kept putting me on cards.
That's love right there.
And just showing me how to love. So I'm sure like they've been insinuating inking a deal, but I'm with it if they are. And I'm just taking my time. If not, it's all good.
Well, that's good, man, because it sounds like you like everything that's come towards your way, it sounds like you earned it.
And that's facts. Like I started boxing late. I don't have no famous friends, no famous boxing friends like that. Like everything that I got, I earned it. I've been busting my ass. And that was
dope because like I seen like Richard was letting me know, man, like you've had some sparring with some cats. You know what I mean? I know you sparred with Flores. I seen that. I know Andy Vincent. You sparred with him. I got like a list of names that you had on there, but it was like, so in those situations where you're sparring with people that are already signed to like bigger networks and promotional companies, do you find yourself like gauging yourself like where you at, or do you go in there with the same mentality you do as like these other fighters you don't know?
I rise to the occasion. So when I spar these big dudes that I've never sparred before, and they don't know who I am, they come in there like, who is this guy? You know, like they don't really pay attention to me. But when I leave, they want to know who I am, or they like. You know, so I just go out there to go get my respect, stuff like that. So, because I know, like I said, I don't have no famous boxing friends. Nobody knows who I am. So I got to let when I go places, I got to let them know who I am. I sparred bigger names, and no offense to those people, but I sparred Mario Barrios a year ago in Vegas before he got his world, the WBA at 140. Dude's big as hell. I don't know if you guys, anybody who knows Mario Barrios, look him up. Dude's like 6 feet tall. And I was walking, he fights at 140. At this time, I was walking around at 144. And I sparred him. I did real good with him. We came back, sparred him again, did real good with him. Sparred in front of Julian Williams, J-Rock. And when I got there, he kind of was like, I was like, you J-Rock? And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, what's your name? And he was kind of like being treating me like a fan because I was a fan. Right. And then after I sparred, he came up to me and he was like, what was your name again? And then he was like, you're doing a really good job. And then he went out his way and went to my coach and was like, you're doing a really good job with him. You guys keep doing what you're doing, stuff like that.
That's what's up, man.
So it was like super love. And that's what, what's his name? I'm just name dropping everybody.
Everybody.
I'm name dropping everybody.
Know. He said, I don't know no famous people, but I'm name dropping everybody.
I'm name dropping everybody I spar that I can think of right now. So I sparred Xavier Martinez. He's 16-0. He just beat Claudio Marrero a couple weeks ago. Now he's number one contender for the WBA at 130.
Dude, that shit gotta mean something.
It does.
It does, because like you said, you name dropping, you fighting, you already spar people with straps, and you like, damn, I'm right there.
Yeah, no, yeah, like it's a good experience. It's I always hold when I leave I'm respected with them and stuff like that. So that's always good. I learn a lot from them. That's when I get the best work, is when I spar those big top dudes that beat up everybody. So it's like, I don't know, it's love. It's great.
They say styles make fights. Everybody got
styles make fights
style.
For sure.
I mean, like, if you critiquing yourself, like, what's your style?
I'm a counter punching. No, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm a pressure fighter. I'm a pressure fighter that can box. So nice. That's what I.
Okay.
So with that style, it would give anybody trouble.
Shit, that's kind of Crawfordish and Spence's in a sense.
No,
Terrence
that's
Crawford
what I get.
And Errol Spence Jr. can box, but they'll pressure the shit out of you if they need to.
Yeah, I get compared to Errol Spence a lot, and I'm a Terrence Crawford fan, so I'd be like,
okay, run it then. Shit, right now in perfect world, we got Earl, we got Crawford. They fighting in Dallas, right?
Oh shit.
Who you running with?
I'm going with Crawford all the way.
Crawford
versus everybody.
Crawford versus everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, do you see that fight really going a distance? Do you see it being stopped? Do you see it be some, or are we gonna get like a trilogy out of this world?
In all honesty, it's one of those fights that can have a great trilogy. Because it's such a competitive. I think it's gonna be a competitive fight. I think Crawford went 7-5. 7-5. I don't think either person is just gonna outclass each other. But if anybody does, it's gonna be Crawford, because he outclassed everybody he's fought.
Yeah, it's a weird. See, and it's weird because both of those dudes right now, active fighters, those are my two favorites.
Yeah,
and
they're both great fighters. It's
like if somebody was asking me that shit, it'd be hard to lean one way, because when you see one of them in the ring, you're like, damn, that dude perfect. Mm-hmm. And then when you think about imagining what's gonna happen when they both get in there, you're like, shit, that's gonna bang, bro. That's gonna be what we should have got years ago with Manny and Floyd. But if they do it in their prime while they're young right now, it's going to be some. But it's like after that, I'm going to be like, what? Because besides those two, my other people that I like is like, I love the brothers, the Charlo brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
They're dope. But it's like, man, they ain't getting the fights that they need yet to get that fucking spotlight put on them like they should, you know? Bud going to do his thing against Kell Brook. Everybody's saying he's big, doing that. Yeah, he's fought some big names. And I always give Kell Brook his credit, because he ain't never shied away from nobody. He even fought Triple G when everybody was like, nah, I ain't going in there to get knocked out.
That was crazy.
That shit was, and then, he got what everybody expected.
Yeah.
And then actually when he fought EJ, he was doing pretty good until EJ just, like, you know what I'm saying? He had the eye injury and shit like that. But that was a good fight, dog.
It was a close fight.
And I think this fight right here is going to really put the light on Crawford, that people need to respect him. Under the light where he needs to be respected. Because, like, if Crawford do the same thing to this dude that he's done to everybody else, then them questions and shit got to disappear.
I think with this fight, it's really a lose-lose situation for Crawford, because he's going to have to look extremely good to get any kind of credit. Because, for one, Kell Brook has been stopped twice, bad, broke over the bone, so he's kind of damaged goods in the boxing world. And he's coming down from 154, so they're going to say he's kind of weight drained or whatever.
He's tired. How did you feel when Crawford fought Khan?
I was cool with it. I thought it was a good fight. And
I
thought Khan.
Sucker shit. I understand. You a fighter, man. You can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was like.
Crawford did his job, though.
He did his job. See, because my thing now with Khan, it's like I watch him, after the Canelo fight and all that stuff. It's like, man, it's like, Doug, are you taking money to get beat up because you got a name? Because Khan he draws a crowd, but it's like the Canelo. He looked good in the Canelo fight. He looked Chris, but Canelo. I seen what Canelo was going to do. That shit was written all over the wall.
It's just certain fights that these guys take are money fights, and it's a win-win situation for them, because they know they're a fighter. Fighting's fun. You're not really worried about. Well, you're not too worried about what can happen in the outcome of you going up to fight someone you're not supposed to beat. Like, if there's no pressure on them, like with Kell Brook going up to fight Triple G,
right,
and with Khan going up to fight Canelo, those are win-win situations, because if they won, great, they get a ton of respect, and if they lost, they weren't expected to win, so they really don't have nothing.
I feel you. No, that's smart. That's good. Your mind's sharp for your age too. And speaking of that, since we're on topic of Canelo, Dude, if you was a free agent right now, you had Canelo's pedigree, you had his name, you know damn well if you put your name in lights, you could sell out stadiums. Would you sign with Top Rank or PBC, or would you take the road that Mayweather did and start your own Canelo promotion company?
Man, he needs to get that Al Heyman money.
Get the bag?
Yeah, get the Al Heyman, because Al Heyman, that's what you do with PBC. If you look, whoever's the main guy, that's who's the promoted on the card. Like with the Charlo brothers, when they fight, if you look at the people that's promoting it, you'll see their names on Charlo Promotions. I don't remember what.
Right.
What's it called? Lions Only Promotions.
Lions Only.
Lions Only Promotions. When Floyd fights, Mayweather Promotions at the top, like stuff like that. So if Canelo was a link up with Al Heyman, because he's just an advisor. Mm-hmm. So if he's a link up with Al Heyman, he'd be making a ton of money, because it'd be all under his promotional company's name, and so he'd be building his promotional brand. And he's,
because I mean, same thing, like shit, just like how he ended up with Golden Boy, with Canelo, a lot of Hispanic fighters that'll be coming up, they'd be wanting to be under Canelo Promotions. Yeah. Like he could really build like his own stable of fighters and move forward, man. So like you go into Mexico this fight, how far, I mean, with COVID, everything's kind of different and shit, but like how far out are the plans for you with this next year in 2021? What do you guys got planned?
Well, we're hoping to, first we got to get through this opponent. It's going to be my toughest opponent to date on paper, so we got to get through him. But after that, we're hoping to bring, with the COVID and everything, hopefully we can fight back in the city and get a fight back home. But I'm trying to get 5 fights next year, 5-6 fights next year.
That's busy. That's good, and it's active for you, and it keeps you in shape.
Keep me in shape.
Keep you sharp.
Keep me busy.
Man, the biggest thing with that too, just like staying active. Like now that you're committed to the sport, like sometimes you hear that, like the bubble did that shit to people. It's like, you hear it all the time. They be like, oh, well, this guy he's been inactive for a year. Like for people that don't understand what you do, and they be like, well, he's sparring, but like,
it's not the same.
It's exactly like I play football, and it's like what I would do to people in practice is not the same shit that I would do in a game. Like game speed and practice speed is just different. So how much of an effect does like staying inactive actually have on you as a fighter?
It does. It does. It affects you. It makes you get the little ring rust. You'll tend to be forcing things that normally just come natural. So it's like, I think that's the main thing, is that your reflexes, or that's what being sharp is. Your reflexes are, when you've been fighting, you're just quick. It's just way quicker. Like you see things, like the things that you see, you're able to do. Like when you're not sharp or you've been inactive, you'll see things, but you can't pull the trigger on it. Like for some reason, you can't pull the trigger.
Like your mind be working, but your body just
but you can't react. You can't react the way you want. But then when you're sharp and you've been fighting, you just react.
I got you. What's training like for you right now? How many days a week? How many times a day? Like when you get like off season and actually getting ready for a fight, what's the difference?
So I know I always train hard, but like just off season is just like I'll probably come. I'm not obligated to be there every day. Like so, if I come like 3 times a week, I won't hear nothing about it. But I normally try to come at least like.
How's your nutrition stay about the same, or when you're not fighting, or do you
when I'm not fighting, I eat. I don't eat that good sometimes. Like I eat kind of bad. But when I'm fighting, I get my meals. I get my meals made for me. I meal prep and stuff like that. With Our Healthy Meals, shout out to them.
Okay.
They handle my meals for me, and then I'm pescatarian. So when I get in training camp, I'm pescatarian, and then right after I'll probably cheat and eat like red meat or something a couple times. Then I just go right back to being pescatarian and stuff like that.
So man, everybody has it. You got to be. You're in a sport, like this is obviously gonna be a pro career, your life and stuff like that, man. If you could like map this out, what's like the ultimate goal for you?
Be a legend. To be a boxing legend, that's my ultimate goal. I want to be a legendary boxer, flat out. So whatever I got to do to become that, to reach that status, I'm with it. So if everything goes according to my plan, I'll be a unified champion at 135. I'll move up to 130, be a unified champion at 140. And probably or if I can get undisputed at 140, that'd be good too. But I'd probably try to stay at 140 as long as I could before moving up to 147. I don't see myself getting to 154. I feel like that's too. I have the height for it, and but I don't know if I'd. Depends on how my body grows with time. But
I respect that.
Yeah, so I want a 3-division world champ, unified in 3 divisions. That'd be dope.
Dude, some that's doable because you've seen it. I mean, you've seen it.
You see it. You see it.
Yeah, you see it. Have you seen you've been around any of the guys around here? Like I'm fortunate I get to see Jose Ramirez a lot when I go down to Fresno. Have you seen him live fighting or anything?
No, I haven't really been to too many professional fights that I'm not a part of. Or like big name fights. I haven't been to any. I only been to the local ones and the ones that I'm on. So like I need to change that, but I watch him on TV.
No, that's fine, man. But you see, you growing.
You got a network.
Everything you've had so far, like you told me, you worked for. So them stadiums and shit are coming for you. You know,
yeah.
It's crazy because like I've been fortunate enough to see people come from like your element, like right where you are in the pro career, to getting to the point where they're around ESPN and the lights and shit on. And it's still the same. Everything that you're doing in the square circle is the same. It's just everything around you have changed. You know what I mean? Bigger crowds, more lights, stuff like that. And it's just flashier. But the people in the ring are the same.
Yeah.
And then you got on, okay, speaking of that, you were Stockton. Like last time I was here, Toscano and him had a big promotion here. And I was there filming. And Blake, the Beast, you know, he was headlining. And actually he has that big fight coming up with
Jack, yeah.
Okay, keep it solid. How you feel? Okay, so solid on this point. Hella people always want an opportunity.
Yeah.
Always want an opportunity. You did this shit for so long. This is this dude's opportunity. Like, what would be going through your mind? Or like, what do you think this dude's thinking? Because it's like...
What do I think Blake's thinking?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that he's thinking he can win. I hope he's thinking he can win. And that he's training the hardest he's ever trained, getting the best sparring he's ever gotten, putting in the most work, but being smart about it, eating not cheating on the diet, just being smart, like leaving these hoes alone, just all that, like just being super focused on this fight is what he needs to be doing.
So if someone threw that at you right now, 130, 135 shot, would you take it?
Right now, at 135, I wouldn't take any title opportunity at 135. I don't think I have the experience. This would be my first 6-rounder, and it's just being straight honest.
No, and that's cool. And I'm wondering because you know, like with Blake, it's like I've known Blake for a couple years, so I've been fortunate to be around him. We're fighting out into Hachi, little shit, you know, things like that. That was big. Actually, that was Top Rank Promotions, the one he was on, and I seen him here with Toscano and stuff like that. But dude, this shit is huge.
Blake, he's been 8 rounds before, a lot. I think this is going to be a 10-round fight. So this is actually like, and I think Badu Jack's going to be coming up in weight. To I don't know what weight class he's at, but I know Badu Jack was at light heavyweight. I think there's going to be at like cruiserweight or something, or like I think it's going to be at cruiserweight. So I mean, this is going to be a solid opportunity. He's going to get paid, but I don't think he's going to beat Badu Jack. I don't think has the experience or the talent to beat Badu Jack.
Yeah, and see, I know Blake personally, man. I was just talking to him. I'm like, man, take this opportunity. You know, even Blake, man, his son's name is Tyson. Like, he grew up loving this stuff, named his son. You know, he's into the sport. I ain't never seen Blake be dropped or nothing. I heard he's had a knockdown, but I ain't never seen it. You know, I just look at it like, this opportunity of your lifetime.
Yeah,
like what you said, what you implemented before about your focus. If this was my shit, I wouldn't be doing nothing.
Yeah, just thinking about nothing, just watching him. I mean, there's plenty of footage of Badu Jack everywhere. You can study him. You can know how he walks. Like
right, no, real shit. Okay, so, all right, now put yourself in Blake's shoes. How would you fight Badu Jack right now? If you going into this, what would you do to him?
Badu Jack, he seems like he cuts easy. He's had a lot of cuts, so he's kind of like, I just put a lot of pressure on him. I mean, that's the only thing that Blake can do is try to put a lot of pressure on him, back him up.
That's why I said to me and my friends. So I'm like, man, I hope Blake just go in there and straight dog his shit, like straight fight, almost kind of like when I seen
make it ugly, make it ugly fight.
Yeah, like how when we seen did you ever remember that fight with Maidana and Floyd, the first one? I was like, he got to be like that, all over him, hugging, swinging, fighting, like just make it ugly and uncomfortable.
What he's gonna have to do? He's gonna have to make it ugly and put a lot of work into the body, because Badu Jack is an experienced fighter, and you got. The first 3 rounds on fights like that is really just kind of filling out. So after 3 rounds, then you're really going to see, they say class tells over time. So then you'll really see the better fighters start separating themselves.
Okay.
So if he's putting work to the body and trying to take gas out the tank of Badu Jack, he can make it a little easier for him. I don't really see Blake being able to do anything to Badu Jack besides put a bunch of pressure on him and try to grind him down. That's the only way that he can possibly win, is using his size advantage, which I don't know how much of that really is, because Badu Jack looks pretty...
Yeah, he looks pretty solid right now.
He's looking pretty slow.
I'm standing next to Mike Tyson, I'm like,
he's looking pretty solid.
Yeah, he's looking pretty solid. He's very calm, man. That dude's poise is like, you know what I mean? He's chill.
And Blake just be doing... He doesn't, like, his technique's not that good to me. I'm not really a big fan of Blake. I don't see too much from him to really look at. All the fighters that I really like a real technical boxer.
Well, you said I knew that when you said when your last fight when you said Andre Ward. If you got Andre Ward and you got Felix Trinidad as your top 3,
don't forget Finito Lopez.
Finito Lopez. I'm saying, but even like because those are 2. I didn't see too much of Felipe, so it's like when I don't know much about somebody, I try to like you telling me that means I'm about to hop my ass on YouTube and be like,
Those are I like boring technical fighters. The only one that's not boring is Tito Trinidad. It's just because he had that left hook, but he's still a technical fighter. Those are the fighters that I like to watch. So Blake, he's very sloppy. He be shaking his head and shit. Like I don't know what he does that for, but he can't. Hopefully, he don't do that against Badu Jack.
Okay, do you like when you watch that? When you're studying someone, do you be like, okay, damn, I think that dude got like a twitch. Like he does some weird shit before he lets off. Do you pay attention to signs like that, like fighters, like tendencies and shit? Are there like tendencies in the ring with fighters, like they do certain shit before they let off?
Yeah, there's a lot, and you kind of see it from being in there with them. You start to pick it up as long as you pay attention. But like with him, he makes so many mistakes. Like he slaps with his punches, so I don't know how hard he really hits. I don't think he's gonna have the power to really just catch Badu Jack and sleep him or nothing like that. Yeah, because he slaps, like he throws arm punches a lot, and he like drops his hands. He doesn't bring his hands back like immediately. They kind of like roll back.
See, this is interesting, man, because all of you guys have different takes on fights, you know, and it's like how we said the styles make fights. It's just like. I just, I can't, Navarrete, I can't remember this dude's name. He just fought on ESPN on Top Rank. Crazy ass. You know what I'm talking about? I know you're talking about. Super long.
Yeah, he fought Ruben Villa.
Yeah. Mm. That style, though, I had never seen the way he would throw stuff, but it's like, and then I went back and watched some of his other fights. I'm like, damn, this shit is really him. Like, this works for him. You know what I mean? And it's crazy.
Like, certain things, like, if, everything that I just said about Blake, if he had, like, extreme amount of power, all that shit wouldn't matter. None of that shit would matter.
Well, it'd be wild.
Yeah, it'd be like Wilder. Like when you can hit, it makes up for a lot of the mistakes that you make. Mm-hmm. So that's like if he could hit it. I don't know how hard he if he was to hit me, it hurt because that motherfucker's hella big. Right. But like as far as on his size, it doesn't seem like his power is all that great. It doesn't seem because I think he took some decisions against some dudes that he should have knocked out before. Or stopped dramatically. And he's going against Badu Jack, former 2-time world champion, 2-weight world champion, fought some of the best in the world. Been through it all. Been knocked out, came back. Been knocked out as a prospect, came back to win a title against people that they didn't think he was going to be able to beat. So he's battle tested. So he's going against this battle tested dude that has nuts. Like he had a big old cut in his forehead. He didn't want to stop.
Yeah, I seen that fight. That shit was crazy, man.
This is not going to be... if anything, this is a tune-up fight for Badu Jack.
But this is the fight of Blake's calling it out like that too. When they had the press conference, Blake was like, "Yo, man, this is. I know you guys think I'm a stepping stone to progressing your career and stuff. So we all know the game of boxing, man. We know how it works.
So this is I hope Blake. I wish the best for Blake. I hope he can make me a liar or change my mind about something. Because I don't know him personally, so I have no ill will towards him.
Dude, that's dope, man. You're hella optimistic for you to say that. Like you said everything you say, so I hope he can change my mind. Just you thinking that way. That's me, man, being older than you're going to go a lot further in life being like that. Just thinking, like giving people an opportunity to change your mind, that's a big ass statement.
Because anybody can be wrong. Like I'm not... I like to be right. If you guys are into astrology, I'm a Virgo, so the stigma with us is like we always think we're right. But I admit when I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. It's all right. Like I'm human. No. So if he can prove me wrong, he'll gain a lot of respect because I don't really have a lot of respect for Blake as a fighter, just off what I see his skills and the opponents that he fought locally, how he handled them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but I don't know him to have any
Yeah, no, he's solid. Personal. Man. That's a good dude, good father, good friend. But like he's done a lot of good things, but the thing I like about him the most is like any man that follows their passion and does what they want to do, I have to give you respect. No matter where you are on the totem pole. If you're doing it and everybody, because a lot of people don't do what they want to do in life because they're afraid.
Because they're scared, that's facts.
It's facts, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's move to another fight that's super important, man. Earl's making his comeback, dude, after 1 year after that. And he's about to fight Danny Garcia. What you think?
I feel like, I don't know what to think of that fight. I think it's going to be a great fight, but I don't know, like, I think everyone's just leaning towards Errol Spence to win, but we don't know how he's going to be after that car crash. And Danny Garcia is no punk, and he has great timing. He can hit. He hits hard. Everybody who's been in there with him says he hits hard, even if he didn't knock him out.
Yeah, that's true.
So he can hit. Even though he's looking for the same type of counters, but it works for him. Like, he's beat a lot of great fighters. He's fought a lot of good fighters. So I'm not sleeping on him. I think anything can happen at this point. I just got to see how the fight goes. Like, with certain fights, I don't call them until I see the first couple rounds, first 2-3 rounds. So, like, that's one of those fights where I'd have to watch and then make my decision on who I think is going to win. Because who knows how Errol Spence going to show up. But with Errol Spence style, he has a pressure style. And I think if he brings how he normally comes, if he's 100% normal, he's going to be backing up Danny Garcia and gonna make him sit on his hands for a little bit. But I think Danny Garcia is gonna bring that no look left hook, and who knows, he might catch Errol, because left hooks are southpaws are very susceptible to left hooks. So that's like a good shot to throw against the southpaw. So he has one of the best of them, so he might catch him with that.
There's a lot of father-son combos like Danny got and stuff like that. Who just so that people get the chance to know you a little bit. Who introduced you to boxing? Did you work with your dad, or how did this like manifest for you?
So, if anybody introduced me to boxing, it'd be my step grandfather, my grandma's husband, they've been married since I was born. So that's like my grandfather. He kind of showed me his dad was a professional boxer, and I think he had glaucoma and detached retina, so he ended up going blind.
Okay.
So he couldn't finish his career, but he was a local fighter back in the 50s or 60s or something like that. And my grandpa David, he used to box, and he kind of would tell me and stuff like that. And I think right before, because when I was a freshman, after my freshman year, I was kind of going through it at home, and then I left my mom's house and went to my grandma's house where my grandpa David lives. And then I was there for a couple months, and then he was showing me like how to throw the jab and stuff like that, if anything. And then my dad called, because my dad he's always lived in Florida, so he called and said, I'm not finna let you live at your grandparents' house. You either live at your mom's house, you live at my house. And then I was like, all right, for sure, I'm gonna go out there, because I just left my mom's house. I was going through it over there, so I wasn't trying to go back over there, you know? So when I went to Florida, lived with my dad, I was there for like 9 months. And I was like locked down out there, so it was like boot camp out there. So, I couldn't do anything because I was getting in trouble before.
Yeah.
I went to my grandma's house. It felt like, if anything, it felt like a work program when I was out there. It felt like a boot camp. Like,
but it got you straight though.
No, yeah, it got me. I'm thankful for it because it changed my whole mindset on a lot of stuff.
Okay.
When I was out there, the friends that I thought I had, they never responded to me, all that stuff. So it let me know who my friends were. And I was on lockdown out there. So when I was on the weekends or Friday nights, Saturday nights, I wasn't allowed to go nowhere. And I didn't know anybody because I grew up in Stockton my whole life. So I didn't really know anybody out there to just leave and go do what I want because I don't know anybody. So I was watching boxing. I see the UFC fights come on. I watch the UFC fights, and then I'd see boxing come on. And I start watching the boxing fights. And when I used to get into my little altercations and fight, I never liked wrestling. I never really grew up with my father in the house. So I didn't have anyone to teach me how to wrestle. Like, I learned how to like fight from my uncles, and they just punched. So that's all I like to do. So I never liked to wrestle. So I wasn't into the wrestling and kicking, stuff like that.
Right.
So when I seen boxing, I was like, oh, I want to do that. Like, this is something I want to do. I tried to get into it out there, but we couldn't afford it. So when I finally got the opportunity to come back home, they were like, you got to get into a sport because you're not playing a sport, you have too much free time, you're going to go back to getting in trouble and all this other stuff. So I was like, if I play a sport, I want to box. Like, when I go back, can I box and stuff like that? They're like, yeah. So I came back. I went back to Lincoln. One of my friends, I had a class with, his cousin had a boxing gym. They just started it downtown. It's on California Street by Tom's Market. They call it, I forgot, Cal Street Boxing. They call it Cal Street Boxing. And that's where I first started at. And I got back, I think, like a week later, after a week or so coming back. Because I came back at the end of my sophomore year, I think like 2 months left. Yeah. And like a week or two after I came back, I started boxing and then was there, trained there for like a year. And then a little over a year, fell out with them. And then I started training with my coach now, Lionel. Because me and his son were real close and he was boxing and he was telling me to come with them for a while. But I was like, nah, I was trying to be loyal and all this other stuff. So when we fell out, I started training with Lionel, and then here we are.
No, that's good, man. Hey, man, that's a hell of a story. No, hey, that's what's up. Dude, you go through that shit, man. You go become a teenager. I went through that. You become an adult. Man, you go through that as an adult life. So don't even think it changed. Like every 3 to 5 years, man, you mature, you change. Mm-hmm. The people around you, the circles and shit change. Sometimes the circles get smaller, the walls get higher. It's just whatever worked for you.
Yeah.
Just be open to those adjustments, man. But dude, it's been a pleasure. I need you to look out to your fans, man, and tell them how they can find you, what to expect for you, and let them know what you got coming up next.
You can find me on Instagram at It's Wade Jones, ITSWADEJONES. Facebook, Wade Jones III. Same thing for my Twitter as my Instagram, but you might want to stay away from that. I just be saying reckless stuff on there. I don't really promote boxing, but I'm looking forward to fighting next Saturday, November 21st on Best in Boxing, and Fight Hub TV is going to be streamed live at 6 p.m. Fighting Juan Roman Bernal. It's going to be a good fight.
All right, that's what's up, man. Hey, dude, you've been a hell of a guest.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. And once again, you guys, this is another episode of The Fighter's Voice. I'm the co-host, Shelly Hollis, and this is my man,
Wade Jones III.
Hey, thumbs up to Richie.
This is ring announcer Lupe Contreras, voice of Top Rank Boxing and of La Jaula for Combate Americas. And you are listening to The Fighter's Voice. As always, thumbs up for Richie.